prices. With me live on the show today via Zoom is the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Chinyere Almona. She has over 30 years of diversified leadership and management experience, an expert in corporate governance. Good afternoon, DG. It's good to see you.
Good afternoon. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I want to start first with the figures released by the NBS. Was LCCI expecting that push? Was it just normal that it would come? Or what do you think is responsible for this in your thoughts?
Thank you, and good afternoon to your listeners. So a few months ago, we had been asked at the Chamber what our projections would be regarding inflation, and perhaps what could change in the near to medium term. And we did say that we've seen a lot of policy changes. We talked about the rise, the removal of fuel subsidy, and the exchange rate devaluation. We see these changes will improve over time, in the long term, but in the short term, we should expect a deepening of the inflation position. Therefore, the headline inflation rate that was reported by NBS wasn't a surprise to us, because we expected, looking at the indices, that things were not going to turn around so quickly.
Well, it's a good way to start this discussion, but let's now look at food, which remains very important at this time, and it's up 26.98% at the moment. What are the fundamentals surrounding this in your thoughts?
So food inflation increased by 1.73 percentage points compared to what it was before. And we see that this was really due to the prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, clothing, footwear, and transportation. And these are the things that have affected the food inflation. And we know that in the last couple of months, we've been talking a lot about the need to invest in the agri sector, because to invest in the agri sector and also to deal with security. Because when you think about farm back to farm, after the flood of last year, we needed to ensure that we had the security infrastructure well positioned to support them. So, we can see that agriculture is one area where we need to invest significantly to turn around the inflation position for food. Cost of food is rising, and with the way things are, it's going to be on the upward trend for a bit of time.
So that we come back and we can continue this discussion. Don't go away. It's Business Nigeria. We'll take a break and we'll be back.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz from the world of music and movies. Your weekends are no longer just days off, but moments packed with knowledge, excitement, and enjoyment. TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, only on TVC News, starting 2nd September 2023.
Well, thank you for staying tuned. We're still having Dr. Chinyere Almona, who's the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, here breaking down inflation figures for the month of July. So I'm seeing that almost all sectors, all facets, price of food, beverage, housing, water, electricity, gas, everything seems to be on the high side this time. Now, what are you thinking that regular residents of the country, what do you think will be going through or running through their minds at this time in regards to their purchasing power?
Well, with inflation rising and the purchasing power reducing, it is clear that every person will need to think of how do they deal with this personally. The point is we're unable to buy more. We can buy, even if we have the same amount of money we had last year, we are now able to buy less food. So that's the challenge. Therefore, we need to think about our food choices, but also we need government to pay attention to make efforts to tackle, especially staple food items. We really want the government to pay attention to that as much as possible.
Yes, I saw that in your request to government, saying that government should focus on things like fertilizer, seedlings, and all of that. And I think government already declared an emergency on the agricultural space. Yesterday, 5 billion naira was approved by government for the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT. What is LCCI's reaction to that?
Well, over the years, we've always said, well, it's one thing to have the policies and with good intentions, but we really want to ensure that implementation is done well. One thing that we have failed to see in the past is that when government releases funds to states, it's never easy to account for them. Nobody holds them to account. Transparency is a challenge. Sufficient data to know what has happened to the money and what can we see is always a challenge. So really, for me, the charge is to the state government to show that they can take these funds and do what it was intended for, so that we can help the populace.
We expect minimum wage to be increased. Deliberations are on already. It's a running issue between government and, of course, labor. Because of the hike and the price of PMS. If that happens, what do you foresee with regards to inflation?
Well, it depends. So really, if you put more money in the hands of people, you will increase purchasing power. But then the other side of it is that those selling goods and services will also up their prices, right? So everything continues to go up. At the end of the day, those that you have put more money in their hands will wonder if they really had more money because now the prices have doubled or tripled, as it were. What will really be useful is for government to put in place the right policies that will drive down inflation generally. We really want investment in infrastructure. We want to kickstart production in this country so that we can employ more people and kind of get the entire ecosystem working well so that inflation can drop. Therefore, if you put more money in my hand, I can buy more, and that would be great.
Great to buy more. But talking policy now, let's stay a bit around policy issues that drive trade and businesses. The chamber, we all know the chamber has been on for advocacy for long and long. I think over 135 years now, doing all of this. But I want to ask you that since this government came in from May 2019, there's been some bold steps that have been taken, and these are things that the likes of IMF and the World Bank has been saying Nigeria needed to do before now. So if you were to maybe give an overview of some of these policies, these bold steps that are being taken, what positives are you seeing? Are you part of those that believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel?
I'm an incredible hopeful. I'm very hopeful about the future of this nation. Now, the government in power has come out to declare certain palliative support the economy. They have talked about how to spend the 500 billion Naira package to boost the economy by easing transportation, because now you've removed fuel subsidy. You have to think of how to ease transportation of goods and persons. They also talks about boosting manufacturing. So the government has said they are looking to provide grants for companies to increase and expand. If you're able to do that effectively, then you're going to increase the production capacity and also employment in the nation. We've also talked just a bit now about enhancing food supply by making good use of our strategic reserves of grains. So the government is saying a lot of the right things, and I'm really pleased that they're paying attention to some of these things. But back to how do we implement, how do we ensure that those tasks with implementation are going to run with it? How are we going to see something different in terms of transparency? One thing that we look forward to is focused leadership that is resolute on enforcing discipline in the system. That's what we need. We cannot run a system where things go as they like, who do whatever they like and they can get away with it. In the president's speech a few weeks back, he talked about the fact that the fuel subsidy was being beneficial to just a few people. Who are those people? Can we deal with them? So we have to ensure that we are doing things in line with the policy intentions that we have, so that we can see real impact in the society.
Indeed, very interesting. I know a lot of companies and businesses, of course, are under the LCCI. The fear of companies exiting the country is another thing. What happened recently, Gatmo Speak Line leaving the country, and LCCI did a release to that effect. Are you worried? What are the business people telling you at the moment with some of their challenges?
Well, we are worried. We're truly concerned. The release we had when SK indicated their desire to exit was the fact that you can imagine how large that company is. It's been in this country for 5 decades, and you can imagine how many Nigerians they employ. So their exit will be, felt within the economy. I don't want any more of this type of news. What we want to see is that the cost of doing business is managed. Now, any business is, or any company is in business to make profit, in business to stay afloat. If you're in an environment that challenges your ability to do that, you're likely to exit. You're likely to go and find where it's cheaper to do business. You're likely to move on to other jurisdictions. So we need to have in place the policies that will ensure that the ease of doing business is promoted and held as sacrosanct, so that companies can see that government is making an effort. We talked about with the harmonization of forex rate. The truth is, just the supply, we don't have the supply, we don't have sufficient liquidity to even be able to power the economy. So these are the things that we need to look at. And for me, the issues to be dealt with, they're multifaceted, and we need to have a coordinated way of managing them, so that companies we don't want to hear any more companies exiting, because it has been very, very in business area. The cost of doing business is high. And when you think about the cost of power, the cost of infrastructure, you have to create your own infrastructure, and the fact that even when you do have the product, the purchasing power of the populace is so low that then you're having to stockpile. So really, it has been challenging, and we hope that this government will be able to deal with some of these factors.
I must thank you, DG. Before I let you go, just finally, the LCCI wants government to hasten the provisions of palliatives to lessen the impact. What sort of palliatives are you looking at or expecting from government at this time? Let's wrap up on that note.
Well, for me, let's even think about the palliative that government has declared. that it will put in place. Let's be sure that those are well managed. There's no point giving them another list. Let's focus on the list that they have produced by themselves and say, can we implement these palliatives? Can we ensure that they affect the common man, that they support growth within the economy, that they support production within the economy? If that is done, we should be smiling. We should really be more hopeful than we are today.
Amos, thank you so much. Yes, I agree with you that we should follow up with what is on ground before we begin to move on, at least proper. Let it trickle down to those that really need to get these funds and all of this support. Amos, thank you so much, Dr. Chinyere Almona. She is the Director General, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Do have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right, there